Welcome to the Education Dilemma, where we question everything about how we learn. From rising costs, we find out what skills you actually need. So do not forget to like this video and subscribe for more answers.
The classroom falls silent as Ho replaces dusty textbooks with glowing tablets. As students swipe through data, the AI senses their struggle, instantly simplifying the challenge. Ho sparks a debate.
And within minutes, every child is coding. This isn't just learning, it's a vibrant, real-time digital dialogue.
Picture a standard university lecture hall. The professor speaks from a podium, projecting a slide deck, while 36 students stare at glowing screens, scrolling and dividing their attention into fractions. This disconnect is measurable. Recent surveys show only 54% of students feel their current education is actually preparing them for the future workforce. When searching for a cause, educators often point to a specific biological data point. As this diagram shows, the average attention span of a millennial was measured at 12 seconds. For Generation Z, that window shrinks to 8 seconds. The traditional conclusion is to view this as a deficit. The assumption is that smartphones have ruined their capacity to focus, making them lazy or unwilling to learn. This friction points to a mismatch between the environment of the analog classroom and the wiring of a digital native. Growing up with a search engine in their pocket means these students have zero biological incentive to memorize raw facts. Their brains prioritize how to rapidly locate and apply data, rather than store it. Because of this wiring, a 50-minute auditory lecture causes their cognitive processing to stall. Passive listening simply does not provide enough active input to hold their focus. To match their natural cadence, instructional designers use a strategy called microlearning. This breaks complex topics down into dense, targeted bursts of 10 minutes or less. We can see the academic rationale for this approach in this research paper. The problem statement explicitly cites that 8-second disengagement threshold, noting that textbook-driven methods fail to capture their attention, requiring interactive, on-demand content instead. This is because these learners are highly kinesthetic. To lock a concept into their long-term memory, they need to physically manipulate data or engage in a direct activity. Forcing a digitally adapted brain to sit quietly through a long-form lecture creates a system error. They need a high-speed, interactive environment to process material effectively. That same instant digital access has also stripped the modern educator of a historical advantage. The teacher is no longer the sole gatekeeper of knowledge in the room. Traditional, top-down disciplinary authority alienates them. Looking at this phenomenological study, Generation Z actively resists rigid hierarchical approaches, demanding autonomy instead. When instruction is one way, they disengage. Research indicates hierarchical instruction is out of sync with these learners, who favor collaborative dialogue. In today's classroom, a title alone does not command respect. Authority has to be earned by facilitating discussions, acting as a mentor, and engaging in mutual dialogue. To understand this push for autonomy, we have to look at the psychological environment that shaped them. They grew up amidst rapid global shifts, economic instability, and a baseline of high anxiety. This environment breeds intense pragmatism. When a student encounters arbitrary busywork, they see a distraction from the skills they need to navigate a precarious job market. Educators have to explicitly answer the why. Every daily curriculum objective must be clearly connected to a tangible, real-world outcome before these students will commit their effort. A student cannot engage cognitively if they do not feel safe emotionally. Creating a psychologically supportive space is a hard requirement for unlocking their willingness to learn. When we align the physical and digital classroom with their evolutionary wiring, the friction disappears. This alignment often takes the form of universal design for learning. This framework prioritizes deep customization, flexibility, and giving the learner agency over how they complete assignments. We can replace passive theory with active practice. Virtual simulations allow students to tear down complex machinery and rebuild it in a risk-free digital space. Gamified elements take this a step further. Features like instant feedback, experience points, and leaderboards satisfy their biological craving for immediate, data-driven validation. Within these interactive, tech-integrated environments, these students operate as innovative, self-directed problem solvers. The responsibility for closing this gap belongs to the institution, not the individual student. Schools and training programs that stubbornly maintain analog traditional methods will continue to see their engagement, retention, and student success metrics drop. To empower the next generation, we have to stop forcing digital natives to navigate an obsolete system. We have to architect an education that speaks their native language.